Welcome, y'all.
Hey, Thomas.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good.
First time co-host Thomas is in the house.
First time.
Harold's behind the camera switching. First time camera switching. Thank you, Harold. So, Thomas, do you want to tell the audience anything about yourself? You have a band?
Sure. Used to have a band here in Baton Rouge. Play music all my life, and now just kind of freelancing it.
What kind
Got
of
a regular day job?
80s hair band?
You name it.
Everything.
Yeah. Mostly drunk white people music. What everyone likes to hear.
Sweet Caroline.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Bum, bum, bum.
Absolutely.
We love drunk white people music. We really do. So I'm going to tell you a story.
All right.
This story is going to take place in 2003. That's where the story is going to start. So I'm going to tell you some things that were happening. You were born in 2003, right?
No. 92.
Okay. I was about to...
2003 is pretty...
I was really cutting eyes at you there. Because I have some people who will sit here and be like, yeah, I was 1 year old. And yeah, whatever.
03, 6th grade.
I'm not going to even try to do the math on how old I was. Okay. Finding Nemo came out in 2003.
Okay.
Everybody knows that movie. Into Club by 50 Cent.
Yeah.
Came out. iTunes launched for the first time, which I would have guessed way earlier than that for me, I think. But, okay. I went and looked up some statistics on violent crime in 2003. And the number of offenses, this is in the country, according to the Uniform Crime Report, 1,381,259 violent crimes. So that's murder, manslaughter, rape, robbery, aggravated assault.
Okay.
That's a lot. Over a million. 1.3 million.
I feel like it's more now.
Yeah, I feel like it probably is, unfortunately. But we are going to go to November 3rd, 2003.
Okay.
911 gets a call from a frantic boy. He was only 10 years old. He tells the operator that he needs help right away because his dad had been shot. Said his dad had a gun and he was shot in the head. It's late afternoon. The police arrive, and I'm going to tell you what town this was in. I just don't have it here handy. But one of the policemen, this was a small town, one of the policemen on the scene that got there first, he actually knew the little boy, Corey. Knew him personally. And the little boy's name that called is Corey Beringer. Corey has a stepmom, Judith. Again, such a small town. The 911 operator is like, where's your mom, Judith? And he's like, she's not here. And the operator goes, okay, I'm going to call her and let her know what's going on. So, little town. So, like I said, the first officer that got there, he knew Corey. Corey grabbed the officer's hand and he took him to where his dad was. Your face. You're like...
Well, I mean, you asked me to be on this show, and this is awful. Like,
yes.
This is supposed to be fun.
No, it will be. We'll get fun. Don't worry.
Okay.
We'll get fun. But it is awful. The police officer saw that the dad, whose name was Robert, was beyond help. He was dead. So the little boy asked the first responders, please save my dad. He's my best friend. I know it touches your heart because you have little ones.
It does.
Okay. Robert, the dad, loved Corey to pieces. Corey was his world. Corey tried to tell the police what happened. He said he was handing the gun to his dad. They were talking about safety and hunting safety. And the safety was not on the gun, turned on. And when he was handing it to his dad, the gun went off and shot his dad accidentally. So the strange thing is the scene didn't really line up with what Corey was saying. What Corey was telling police was kind of opposite at the scene because Robert was laying in bed and he had earplugs in. So I feel like if you're talking to your child about gun safety, you're not in like a sleeping type position. So in the meantime, Judith, Corey's stepmom, she came to the scene and she asked the police if she could take Corey away from the scene. And okay, so here's the town. It's called Mark Center and it's in Ohio and it's 50 to 60 people. That's how small this town is. Corey, the little boy, was born in 1993 to Robert and Wendy. I know I told you about Judith. Wendy was his mom, his biological mom. They divorced when Corey was little, and Corey doesn't even really remember her. So that he stayed with his dad. And he was his dad's sidekick. And they both loved cars. They spent a lot of time in the garage. They hung out together all the time. Well, eventually Robert started dating again, and that's how Judith Hawkey came into the picture. Corey was 5 years old when they started dating, and he said he remembers the first time he met Judith that he called her the yellow-haired lady because she had blonde hair, and she seemed nice. And Judith had a daughter the same age as Corey. So eventually Robert and Judith moved in together, and Robert was the sole provider. Like, Judith stayed at home with the kids. She was, took care of the home, took care of the kids. Robert went to work. He worked in a steel mill, and he worked a lot, like people from Exxon do.
I feel like that's profiling.
Do you feel targeted right now?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit offended.
Well, also, like y'all, he was stressed and tired when he came home. But he did work.
That don't happen.
Nah.
That don't happen.
He did work a lot of overtime. So you can picture it. Mom is taking care of the kids and taking care of the home. The dad's working a lot of hours trying to support his family. Well, Judith wanted to become Corey's legal guardian. After becoming his guardian, not long after, she started telling Robert what a bad, terrible kid Corey was. Yeah. She would even video him and his little behavior issues so that she could show the dad what he was doing.
Which included?
Shit that kids do, like messing up their room and throwing tantrums and shit that kids do.
We can't have that in today's society.
But I'll tell you some more of the stuff that she filmed, and it's quite horrific. Okay. So remember I told you this started on November 3rd, 2003.
Okay.
November 4th, the day after Robert died, the policeman who knew Corey that had come to the scene initially, he went back the very next day to see how Corey was doing. But Judith wouldn't let the policeman in the house. She wouldn't let him see Corey at all. And do you remember how she sounded all concerned? Let me take him away from the scene. Let me take him away from... They went back to the house and slept in the house that night. I mean, I think that's completely...
It's a little soon.
Yeah. He just
saw
it.
Go stay with a grandparent or an
Anything.
aunt or someone.
No, they stayed in the house.
Same house.
I wouldn't even want to, as an adult, stay in this. Okay.
Nope, that's grounds to move.
Yeah. So, as time passed, Corey withdrew more and more. Life for everybody else in the family was fine, but not for Corey. He had to do chores, clean his room, make dinner, and whatever Judith said. All those things are fine.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
Oh.
But it's when Judith's behavior started becoming a little bizarro. Like, she would hide in her house with the shades drawn, and the neighbors would say she would never come outside. She would never answer her door. If somebody knocked, Corey said they had to go in another room and be quiet so that nobody would know that anybody was home. They couldn't answer the door. Judith thought the neighbors were spying on her. On one occasion, she slashed the neighbor's tires. She sounds paranoid as fuck to me.
For what reason?
Yeah. Just because she thought they were spying on her. She slashed their tires. She tried to poison their dog. The neighbor's dog.
Why?
Yeah. She's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
She isolated herself from everyone, and she controlled everything. And poor Corey, basically, he had no love and support at home.
Okay.
Even though this woman's his legal guardian.
And how old's Corey at this point?
Well, it started when he was 10, when his dad got killed. And basically what I'm telling you lasted until he was 18.
03 till 18. Okay. Got it.
He was 18 years old, and he ran away from home. Okay.
Why'd he wait?
I don't. I mean, as the story goes on, you might understand.
Okay.
So years down the road, here we are. He's about to be 18. He's about to graduate high school. For like his senior English paper, he had to write about his biggest regrets. He wrote this: "What happened to my dad wasn't the truth. What happened to my dad wasn't what everyone thought." So, as a teacher, you're going to call the police.
Naturally. Hopefully.
So they did. And the officer that was on scene at the very beginning that knew Corey was still in the police force. And he like picked this up and was working this. So the police brought Corey in to question him. And Corey just thought he was going to go to jail. Straight up. Period. He told the police that he's the one that killed his father. And he told them that he shot his dad at the request of Judith, his stepmom. So the police are like, well, she wasn't just like the day before going, would you just kill him for me? Well, what led up to this? What's the background? Well, Judith told Corey that his dad had a tumor, a brain tumor, that he had cancer, that he was dying. Judith said it was Robert's idea for him to be shot so that they could get the insurance money to support the family. But it had to be like in an accidental way, you know, and that he couldn't take his own life because it probably wouldn't pay. The insurance probably wouldn't pay. So she convinced little Corey that his dad wanted to die.
What?
Yeah.
What?
10-year-old child.
What an elaborate.
Just get a divorce.
Yeah. Lie to a kid. I mean, okay, all right. That's not something new, but to tell him, to convince him, that his dad is dying of a tumor, and this is how he wants to go out.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, let's make it the best for the family by making it look like an accident.
Right.
Oh, and by the way, you're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like,
by the way, you're gonna do it. So when he gets off the bus that afternoon of November 3rd, Judith grabs him by the neck. I can picture this because my mom would do that to us when we were kids, like in the grocery store. You better not, you know. She grabbed him by the neck and she said, today's the day you're going to kill your dad. She pushed him forward, said the gun's in the laundry room. Go get it. When you're done, call 911. She and the daughter that she had leave the house. So Judith's instructions were to Corey to go into the room where his dad was sleeping. Remember I said he was in bed with earplugs in.
right.
And shoot him. Judith also told Corey to place like hunting paraphernalia around. Like there was a magazine, a book on hunting type clothes. I forgot to ask you what you're drinking.
Oh, we are drinking my favorite,
Which
Bumbu.
is? What is
the
it?
go-to rum for me.
Oh, it's a rum.
From Barbados. That's right.
It looks like
right.
it's got Pirates of the Caribbean on the front of it.
Kind of how it feels.
Is
you
it?
feel like a pirate.
Well, hold your
Would
cup
you like
up.
some?
No, thank you. No, there.
We're going full tiki.
Yeah, you got the umbrella and the
yeah.
tiki shirt. You got. Do you need ice?
No.
Okay.
It's cold.
And Coke Zero.
And Coke Zero.
Perfect. I love Coke Zero.
Not to get off the topic, but yeah, Coke Zero. Caffeine-free Coke Zero.
I didn't even
that's
know.
A new
I didn't know that was a thing.
zero sugar, zero caffeine. Like, I didn't either. Found at the store. No more drinking Diet Coke anymore.
Diet Coke is the worst.
It is. And
But Coke tea, that's okay. Because
it's in a cup holder.
But also, every time someone has sat there, a drink has been spilled.
Well,
So it's absolute.
overflowed.
No, it's just absolutely. You're just one person christening it. Okay. So picture the room where Robert was taking a nap and Corey goes in and he puts like a hunting magazine, camo hat, whatever. He's putting this hunting gear around the room. He says to this day, now I saw a show where Corey was interviewed now as an adult. So he's actually talking about his experience. He said he was crying when he was holding the gun up to his dad's head.
I would hope so.
Click. The gun didn't work. He said he went into the living room and he looked at the gun. He didn't really know what to do. He went back into the room thinking the gun was broken and he pulled the trigger and it worked and it went off. It fired. So, and as he's telling the story as an adult, he's still crying. So anyway, he killed his dad before. Like I told you before she left the house, Judith told Corey to call 911 as soon as he shot his dad. So that's what he did. Okay, so here we are all these years later and the police are talking to him and they're like, we've got to go back and re-examine all the facts. We have to take a closer look at Judith Hawkey. Did she make a 10-year-old boy shoot his dad? The police need to find out about the family dynamics. So it took a year, but the police gathered information. They talked to Corey's past teachers. They talked to friends and family members. They talked to Judith's past lovers. And the past lovers were the big ticket to putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
Were they all also deceased due to 10-year-old boys?
They were not.
Oh, okay. That's, I guess, good.
Thank goodness, right? But I mean, who knows what she's done before and maybe gotten away with it.
I mean, it's an elaborate story to convince a 10-year-old to kill their father. So
yeah. Okay, so less than 12 hours after, this is something police found out. Less than 12 hours after Robert died, she was up at his job getting life insurance information.
Yeah, I mean.
Greedy bitch.
Payout.
Yeah. As the investigation unfolded, everyone was shocked to learn how much Corey had suffered in his childhood before this happened and after. The police tried to, they got Corey to call Judith and they tapped the line. They wanted to get her to admit something. I listened to that. She wouldn't admit anything. She didn't. He's like, did we do the right thing? Did we, what we did to Dad? She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. I feel like I need to see a counselor. Well, you go talk to whoever you want to talk to. Do whatever you want to do. And she just hung up the phone. So they didn't get anything off the recording. Okay, but you know what? That videotaping she did when he was a kid of his bad behavior. One time he had an accident in his pants. She made him eat feces. Literal smeared shit on his face and made him eat it.
His own feces.
His own feces.
Because he shat his pants as a, what?
I don't know.
3-year-old?
He was probably 4 or 5, but even still doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm 55 and I could shat my pants anytime.
You're right.
Harold would not beat me.
No, I hope not.
He wouldn't make me eat it either. Meh.
He might be like stewing it.
He's like, I need to call a nurse to help you, to assist you. I'm not helping you. Okay. She also beat him, which is really
not funny.
Not funny, but this is the part that really. Okay, I'm going to skip that for now.
Yeah.
I'm going to skip that little part and tell you.
Eating his own feces. I don't know how you up that ante, honestly. That's pretty bad.
Yeah. So there was a woman that, okay, at this point, we've got police investigating this. We've got the DA, prosecution, all these people, they're trying to find out about Judith. Did she really make him do this? They hire Anna Salter, who's a psychologist who was supposed to evaluate Corey about all of this, his childhood and everything. And she said initially when she started talking to Corey, he was afraid, he was angry, he didn't want to talk about anything. I get that shit. Mm-hmm. And I think as an abused child, you're kind of, he was probably groomed. If you tell somebody something, you're going to be in even worse trouble.
Yep.
So it was so bad for Corey that he said he would become afraid even when he saw someone that looked like Judith. All you had to do was look like her, and he was terrified. So while he was growing up, he assumed that other kids at school were being beat and abused too. He thought that was normal. And he thought all kids went through what he was going through. So the tricky little bitch, Judith, she did this when Robert was at work. Robert didn't know this was...
I was going to say, how did he not know? I mean, there was 10 years of... Well, supposedly 10 years, right?
Well,
I guess she met...
They met when he was 5.
5, okay,
and
so
then
98.
So 5 years...
To 03.
Yeah, 5 years.
And he didn't know, so...
No, because he's working all the time. That's why you shouldn't work all the time.
Fair.
Sorry. Had to say that.
So working all the time equals...
You don't know your
mother-in-law abusing...
Stepmom abusing
son, then will eventually get you dead.
Eat feces.
Is that
yes,
the story
that's it. That's the moral of the story. Jesus. Don't work so hard or you'll be dead.
If you work hard, you'll die at the hands of your own kin.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you got to have an evil stepmom in there to facilitate all of this. So you don't have that. So you're good. Okay.
I'm a nice wife.
So some of the teachers said that as Corey was growing up, he wore long sleeves and long pants to school when it was not appropriate time to wear, like 110-degree summer.
Oh.
Time weather. He wore long pants and long sleeves to hide
the
marks. But when people started questioning, Judith got smart. She stopped beating him so there wouldn't be any marks. But then she began twisting and burning his penis. So it did get worse. I feel like that's worse than eating shit.
Yes.
Yeah. On one occasion, she took a knife and held it to his penis and threatened to cut it off. Yeah. And her reason for doing things to his penis was because she knew no one would look there for abuse. So. What? Yeah.
A hot knife or a cold knife? No, it doesn't matter, but.
It was a cold knife.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Yeah.
That's off the. Where does she get these ideas?
And honestly, what happened with the knife, and I didn't write this in my research, Corey thought he was going to be saved because his dad happened to come in while she had the knife. Okay? She hears him come in the door. She turns around and says, Corey was about to cut off his own penis. Look, I saved him. And that's how that went down.
And the dad didn't be like, no, I've been working too long today. Like, I don't need to deal with this.
Not this again with the cut off penis.
Yeah,
no.
yeah, not again, right?
Right.
Like you think he would have been like, son, what is wrong with you?
Well, I think he did. I think I remember Corey saying his dad blew up. But
yeah.
But he didn't blow up at Judith. He was probably blowing up at the kid who wasn't doing anything, trying to cut his penis off to begin with.
Yeah, but it depending on your relationship, I guess. Yeah, abuse is that's a hard thing to manage because it's like if it's his dad.
Yes.
Like if my dad came to me and like pulled me aside and was like, "What are you thinking about this?" But again, I wasn't abused, so
right.
He might have been too scared of.
He
Judith.
was terrified.
Yeah, that's an awful situation.
So like I told you, she would video him trashing his room, throwing things. She made him do those things for the video. He didn't want to do those things for the video. And she would tell him, I'm going to show these videos to your dad so he knows how bad you're being. So it was a whole psychological level. It wasn't just physical.
Right.
She scared him and brainwashed him, you know?
So, root cause all this, what the hell does Judith do for an occupation? Like, she work? Or is this like her job? Like, I get paid to torture my 10-year-old son-in-law. Like, what is her job?
She stayed at home. She was a stay-at-home mom with the kids. She had
the life of Riley.
No shit. Mm-hmm.
But that's not y'all, even though, we're working all the time. Like,
No.
No, y'all are doing stuff.
We're working with kids.
Exactly. Y'all are working too. So.
And if she would have been a good person, she could have been working at home, being a productive member of society, raising her kids right, but apparently she wasn't. So,
man, I gotta know what her MO is.
Okay,
I gotta know. I gotta know what makes this woman tick, because she sounds.
Well, I mean, part of it is that insurance money.
How much was it? Jesus.
I don't even know the answer to that.
How much does it take to torture a 10-year-old? Like, there isn't an amount of money you could give.
What a slow, long game, too. 5 years of torturing a kid.
It had to be a substantial amount. In all seriousness, all joking aside and whatnot, and all terrible story aside, like, it had to be an amount that was, like, insurmountable.
I don't know. I don't know how much it was. But Corey felt like all Judith wanted to do was get his dad to hate him. That was her main goal in life. Jeez. That's all he felt like. So, and he was isolated from his dad because his dad worked so much, and she controlled everything, including having him kill his dad. Okay. He never told anyone because Judith told him that there was, okay, why did he wait till he was 18 to write this paper in school and not tell anyone before now? Judith told him, I made a secret video recording of you shooting your dad. So if you ever go tell anyone you shot your dad, I'm going to be able to show him this recording. I mean, if you ever go tell anyone I told you to shoot your dad, I'm going to be able to show him this recording. Here's Corey shooting his dad. And he would go to prison. So that's how she terrified and brainwashed him.
I guess, do we know what age that she told him that? Because like a 10-year-old doesn't understand blackmail.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they do. No, under this woman, maybe.
They understand terror.
Well, yeah, that absolutely, but
completely. She just completely terrorized him. Okay, let's move on from this.
Yeah, this is
terrible.
This is a terrible story. Please tell me there's some solace. Like, did Corey go to jail? Judith went to jail.
Judith was arrested on March 8th, 2013.
That's scary.
2013. 10 years after Robert died.
Jesus. It took that long?
When the police confronted her point blank about Corey's abuse, she denied everything. She maintained she was innocent. So when they arrested her, the charges were murder, endangering children, and insurance fraud. Okay?
Okay.
There's your motive, insurance.
Insurance. Hopefully a hefty amount of money, at least, so you can make it like somewhat reasonable that this person just isn't pure evil.
Well,
they're just greedy.
Just so you know, I saw the video with him with shit on his face. And just crying, like
they released sobbing. These videos of this?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you can see all that.
No thanks. I'd rather not.
So, okay, the trial started. Corey testified. He couldn't even look at Judith and he's grown.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been abused his whole life.
But he told the whole story, the abuse, the neglect. He told everything. During the trial, Judith stood up and yelled at him and tried to lunge at him. That's how psycho crazy. And she was always like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you, saying shit like that to him.
Not behind those bars, bitch.
Well, the jury found her guilty of aggravated murder.
Yeah. Okay. Huh?
4 counts of felony child endangering.
Awesome.
1 count of insurance fraud.
I mean, yeah, she filmed all this, right? Like, this is the evidence. She put herself in jail.
She shit where she ate.
Yep.
She shat where she ate because she fucking had the evidence. I mean, without these videos that she made, it would be a little kid's word against the mom,
right.
The stepmom.
Yeah, all she had to say is like, I'm just 10 years old, kid's silly.
And she was saying that when they arrested her 10 years later,
But there's video evidence.
Right.
I mean, this is like that wasn't me on video.
Right. Okay.
Like in politics.
Well, she got life without the possibility of parole.
That she deserves more than that.
I agree. But as they're taking her out of the court, she said she'd be back because she was innocent. Now, this part I'm about to tell you.
Uh-oh.
Hold on.
Oh, man.
In March of 2016, Judith Hawkey appealed.
So 3 years later.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3 years.
And it was based on a legal technicality. And at this point, for whatever reason, she entered a plea to a lesser charge of involuntary manslaughter and endangering children. And she was released this year, 2023. So she had 10 years in jail. Yes.
Okay, why?
She went back to Ohio, too. I tried my damnedest, and I will tell you, I did verify the fact that she has been released. That wasn't just something I heard or read. The actual ohio.gov or whatever, Department of Correction, she's released. Can you imagine if you were Corey, how terrified, even as an adult, you would be?
Yeah, really.
She's not beyond killing.
No. And Corey's what? He's got to be
20 something
now.
Yeah.
So he's just wandering around, wondering where the hell she's at.
Yeah. Yeah. And she's out there. Yeah. So, but Corey seems to be doing well.
Okay, I was going to say, where's Corey at?
So Corey, every year in November, obviously he has some issues, some coping issues. But other than that, he's become a productive member of society. I think at one point in time he was married and had a child. I don't know. I couldn't find if he's still married. It's very I didn't want to go too deep into where he is today because I feel like he's been victimized enough. Like I don't you want to
leave the poor guy
alone.
He's
probably leading as normal a life as he can given the circumstances is what I would say. But
yeah, I mean, hopefully he got some help and whatnot. So.
I'm sure. Yeah. So that's the story of Corey Beringer and his dad, Robert, and his stepmom, Judith Hawkey. So there's a couple of sites I went to. There's a show called Mother May I Murder. And this was season 1, episode 3. I watched that. I went to ojp.gov. Believe it or not, Dr. Phil did an episode on this.
Oh, okay.
Which I couldn't find it to actually watch it because Corey was on it. I wanted to watch it. So, that's the story. And a terrible story it is. But, Thomas, I'm going to tell you some...
Let's do some positive stuff.
Well,
a little more positive.
This isn't positive, but it's funny.
Okay.
These are going to be...
Let's switch it up.
Crazy laws from different states.
Okay.
That are still in the books.
Oh, I'm feeling I know some of these.
Well, I'm going in alphabetical order, and we are up to Kansas right now.
Okay.
And where are you from originally?
Originally from Illinois. Went to school in Missouri.
We already did Illinois.
Oh, that's okay. There's still ridiculous
there
laws.
Were some good ones.
You can always come back. Illinois is still ridiculous.
Okay. So, in Kansas City, Kansas, saying the name George Washington without adding the phrase, blessed be his name, can land you with a fine of up to 50 cents.
This isn't real. Who's collecting that?
But you know, at one point in time when George Washington was still alive, you know that was 50 cents in George Washington times.
Was he alive? I don't know my history that well.
Blessed be his name.
Was he alive when Kansas City became Kansas City?
I don't know, but that's where the law is.
50 cents. Like who's...
50.
You're paying the guy 70, even back then, 75
I'm
cents.
slamming a hundy down on the table, and I'm just going to go George Washington,
yeah,
George
I'm
Washington,
just gonna
George
say
Washington.
Constantly.
Here's my fine.
Yeah.
But I was doing
Here's
this.
a 10 spot. This is for the rest of my life.
Just paying it forward for
Enjoy.
every time I say George Washington without blessed be his name.
That's a good one. Okay.
Someone asked me when we were doing this on one of the other episodes, why, how, I don't know. But
okay.
For whatever reason, these laws have come to pass. I'm sure they are very old in some cases.
I mean, yeah.
In Lawrence, Kansas, all cars entering the city limits must first sound their horn to warn the horses of their arrival.
I mean, at least that's got some logic to it.
Bump, bump.
I mean, horses are skittish animals. Dumbest animal in the barnyard. I will argue with anyone about it. You could say chickens. You could say no.
Chickens.
No,
I will argue chickens.
Horses are the dumbest.
At least I can ride a horse. I can't ride a chicken.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it smart or dumb. Like,
that's true.
I have seen a horse literally run into an electric fence multiple times, and keep doing it.
That is dumb.
A chicken is dumb because it's like you scare it and it dies, but a horse will literally it'll run itself to death if you let it. So anyway.
Well, just make sure before you go into Lawrence you bonk your horn before.
Good. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
in Kansas.
Trip off to cancel, I guess.
I'm assuming this is all of Kansas because it's not specific to one city or place. It is illegal to catch bullfrogs in a tomato patch.
That's a shame. That's every Tuesday night for me. So.
Done. It is also illegal to hunt whales.
Ooh, that's really
I'm really bad
disappointing.
At geography, but I don't think there's any.
Maybe they mean something else. Maybe they mean I don't know, larger people. Maybe
I don't know. Oh,
maybe there's whales as a term of endearment or something.
Or whales, the people who spend a lot of money in Vegas.
Okay. I
don't know.
All right.
And lastly, for Kansas,
okay,
it is illegal to put ice cream on cherry pie.
Illegal to put. What about cherry pie on ice cream?
Does not stipulate that. There's always more than one way to skin a cat, right? Okay, since there weren't many for Kansas.
So who's again, I gotta ask.
What?
Who's regulating this? What camera, what Alexa is in your house listening to you putting ice cream on your cherry pie? Like what is the who is saying
who's sitting at the city limits making sure everyone beeps their horn before?
Well, that too, right? Like, is it like a cop when you come into a small town and it's just like, oh, you can't speed in my town, and it's like, I didn't hear your horn. You just scared every horse in town. There's more horses than people.
He pulls you over. Did you catch those bullfrogs in the tomato patch, son?
That's right. Yeah, where'd you get them bullfrogs, huh? You in Farmer John's tomato patch?
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to tell you Kentucky crazy laws as well because there's only 3.
Oh, I love.
Believe it or not,
these are fun. This is a fun segment. I like this a lot more than
than the terrible
10-year-olds murdering their dads at the
All right,
story of their
this
stepmothers.
Definitely is old. I hope at least this is an old law.
I'm an old soul, so maybe not.
In Kentucky, every citizen is required to take a shower once a year.
Required.
It's Saturday is my birthday.
Yeah, once a year though.
Once a year.
So it's third Saturday
Christmas
of March.
Day. Christmas Day.
It's like
that's when we get clean. That's when we wash our junk. Yeah.
It's required. Again.
Why did that
who's
have
keeping
to
track?
No, why did that have to become a law is my question.
Okay,
Were y'all nasty
fair.
motherfuckers just running around in Kentucky?
They just smelled.
Just stanking up everything.
Yeah, but who's going to be like, oh, you ain't showered in a year versus you ain't showered in 50 days? Is there really a difference in smell at that point?
I don't know.
There must be.
I've never gone maybe more than 2 days without showering.
I'm the same way. I'm a neat freak, so.
Okay, in Owensboro, Kentucky, a woman may not buy a hat without her husband's permission.
So I could. All right. So agree
Stop
that the
it.
no. You think I'm going the other way?
Hear me out.
You think I'm going the other way? Yeah. Hear me out first before you cast judgment. I don't look at that as a misogynistic thing. I think that's one of those laws. A woman should definitely be able to buy anything she wants without her husband knowing, without his permission. That's fine.
Well, again, it's an old law,
right? That's the thing. I think it's one of those laws that was like written in the footnotes and no one noticed, and they just were like, I don't read the footnotes.
They just stamped it.
They just were like approved, and no one looked at the it's like like the healthcare bill was like this freaking big,
right?
But no one looked in there, and it's so funny.
And somewhere in there,
there's some silly shit, right?
Well, somewhere in there, we can't buy hats without permission from our husbands.
Right. Same analogy, right?
Well, here's the last one, and I like this one. It's illegal in Kentucky to marry the same man more than 3 times. So get your cousin wedding straight the first time or the second time. Or even the third time. Just don't expect to marry him the 4th time.
So say that again. A man can't marry another man more than 3 times.
No. It is illegal to marry the same man more than 3 times.
A woman. It's illegal for a woman
to marry the same man. It doesn't say a woman, but I'm assuming.
There you go.
Well, I mean, and now today,
I need more clarity.
If gay marriage is legal in Kentucky, then a man can't marry the same man more than 3 times.
It doesn't say that.
So it could be either one.
Just say it.
This doesn't.
So you can't marry.
No.
I guess why?
I mean, I've heard of people getting married and getting divorced, and then maybe 10 years later they get married again. But
why is that illegal for the state? Like, is the state paying some kind of lawyer fee or something?
I don't know.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, somebody just drew a line in the sand when Martha Jean and Billy Joe Bob went to get their marriage license for the 4th time. Nope. That's it. We're not doing it. Y'all either get it right on 1, 2, and 3, or we're done.
You heard it here, folks. Martha Jean and Billy Blowjob. Billy Joe Bob.
Billy Blowjob.
Billy Blowjob. Oh, Jesus.
Have another rum drink.
Yep, my bad.
Okay, so there you go. That's the podcast, Thomas. Hopefully you'll come back again, even though it was a terrible story to start off with.
No, it just was a little more intense than I thought.
Yeah.
I'd definitely be in again.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so y'all, if y'all like that crazy story and those crazy laws and you want to help support the show, go to Patreon/grits, Patreon/grits, and help the show. And don't forget, go to Spotify. I think you can write a review now and rate us, and Apple Podcast, and make sure you say something if you leave a rating, because they don't count it if you don't. And that'll help the show out as well. And we thank y'all so much for listening. And we tell your mom and them we said, hey, tell them to listen.
Hi, Mom.
We're going to let Zydeco Mike take us out.